to Daily Dimensions. First episode of 2021. First time y'all hearing me out here in 2021. I appreciate you if you carried over from last year. If you still listening, you still rocking, you still supporting, I appreciate you. And thank you for being here. This episode, I'm going to title this one, What Did You Expect? So this episode, we're going to be talking about expectations and just managing your expectations. It's something that I learned in grad school. So I was studying, leadership and business, and they were talking about business wise, right? When you're leading people, you got to manage your team's expectations. If you come into it and you set the bar for your team, the expectations for your team too high, like abnormally high to a point where they can't reach it or they know they can't reach it, there's going to be that disappointment. You're not going to meet your goals. You're not going to meet the standards, the quota, or whatever it may be, and you're going to miss the mark. But carrying that over, not just in a leadership sense, but into a life sense, you really need to manage the expectations you have in your life and in your relationships. They have to be realistic. And I say that, simply, but you really have to be realistic with your goals. Like, I know it's 2021 and a lot of us have these New Year's resolutions, and it's important to have that. It's important to have a plan, a goal, something that you want to achieve coming into the year, but don't set the bar at something that's not realistic for you. If your goal is to come in and 2021, I want to lose 100 pounds, and you know that your whole life you've never gone to the gym, that may not be a realistic goal for you. If you come into 2021 saying, I want to read one book every month, and you don't own no books, that might not be the goal for you. You may need to set it to, I want to read 6 books all year, and be realistic with that goal. And you have to know what you're getting into. You don't want to bite off more than you can chew by setting this high goal, this high benchmark that you can't reach. You got to be smart with your goals, smart goals, man. You got to be smart with them. And understand that you have to, it's easier to set these smaller, more attainable goals working up to the big goal than to just focus on the big goal and miss everything in between. It's a journey, it's a process, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So when you're setting these goals for yourself, when you're trying to become this better you, when you're trying to achieve, be realistic, because then when you fail, if you fail, you can only look at the benchmark you set for yourself and say, okay, well, what did you expect? And not only does the goal need to be realistic, but you also have to put in the right effort. You can have a very realistic goal, but if you're lazy, you're not going to reach it. You're not going to achieve it, and it's not going to happen. You have to put forth a consistent amount of effort. It's not even, I tried really hard and I didn't get it, or you have to just be consistent. Even if it's not maximum all the time, or it's just a little bit sometimes, that it averages out. I went really hard for 6 days, and then the next 4 days, I didn't go as hard as I could, but I did something. It's going to average out, and those little drops in the bucket, that putting one brick at a time to build the foundation, you're going to get to where you need to get to. So not only do you have to be realistic with these goals and manage these expectations, but to meet your expectations, it requires effort and it requires maintenance, because then once you get there, you have to continue to work at it, or else you're going to fall off. You're going to recede back, you're going to backslide, and you're not going to be at where you want to be by the time the year ends. You may hit your goal in 2 months, and now it's like, oh dang, okay, what do I do? You don't want to hit that goal in 2 months and then completely fall off, and now it's that same goal that you accomplished is now your goal again. You don't want to be that person that was like, I saved this amount of money, and let's say you have a savings goal. You saved this amount of money, and then the next thing you know, you went on vacation and the money's gone now. Or you bought yourself a Telfar bag and now the money's gone now. So you have to maintain where you're at too, maintain where you're at and then keep moving forward. But you don't ever want to fall backwards. And if you do, pick yourself up and get back to the goal, and you know where you need to work at. You got to work at the maintenance phase or the effort phase, and being realistic with those goals. You know, being realistic with expectations, though, not only is it with goals like a New Year's resolution or a New Year, New Me kind of thing, or I'm back in my bag kind of thing, but when it comes to relationships, we also have to be realistic with these expectations and manage these expectations, because sometimes we can come into relationships expecting our partner to be us. And that's not a realistic expectation, because nobody is going to be you. We're all unique individuals. We're all put on this earth for a purpose, for a reason. We're all here to fulfill that purpose, but you cannot expect someone to be carbon copy you in a relationship. That person brings their own unique skill set, their own personality, their own way of doing things. Now, that's not to say that there can't be compromise and that you guys shouldn't work to have some sort of understanding, some sort of agreement, some sort of way that works for you as a couple. But when you come into it and you're like, man, I wish they did this because I did that, or, I don't like the way they do this because I do it this way. It's not a realistic expectation. And then not only is it unrealistic, you're going to lead yourself to a lot of disappointment. You're going to be very disappointed and very frustrated. I promise you're going to have headaches, because we've all done it before. You can't expect someone to be you because nobody can be you. And that's the best part of being yourself. Nobody can be you. You have to be the best that you can be, and they're going to be the best them that they can be. And hopefully when you two put that together, it creates something beautiful. But along with expectations, they have to be not only realistic, but communicated. You see oftentimes in relationships, whether it's friendships or a romantic relationship or a parent and a child, there's expectations that just aren't communicated. And then I've been victim of it, where someone expected me to do something and I didn't do it. And now it's my fault because I didn't read your mind and get done what you wanted me to get done. I'm not a mind reader. If you can point me to someone who is, that'd be great. But you can't hold people accountable for missing the marks that they didn't know were there. You can't demonize somebody for falling short of something that they didn't know they were supposed to be working towards. If you set that expectation and communicate it clearly, that person now knows, okay, I'm working towards this. This is how I'm going to get there. This is the timeline. This is what I'm working with. This is the expectation. This is what I got to get to. And then if they fall short, y'all work it out however y'all want to work that out. But you can't sit there and be like, oh, I'm not happy and I'm not this and I'm not that. If you never laid that foundation of communication and letting that expectation be known, expectations can really set you back if you don't communicate them. And if you're not realistic and if you're not putting the work in, man, that expectations can get you really caught up, also in relationships too. If you come into it trying to change somebody, you're already really behind. That is a terrible expectation that, okay, they're not where they should be, but I expect them to change once I'm with them, or I expect them to change once they realize how great I am, or, they'll change once they get a job, or they'll change once they graduate, or they'll change once they do this or that. Like, expecting someone to change once they get in a relationship with you, you're setting yourself up for failure, man. That's a bumpy road, because oftentimes people show you who they are. And this is why that dating, talking, however y'all want to define it, everyone sees it differently, is crucial, because people show you who they are. They show you what you need to see. And 9 times out of 10, We overlook it because we just want to focus on what's good about the person. And they can have some great qualities about them. They could be making a lot of money. They could be good with kids. They could be a great dad. They could be whatever. But if everything else in their life is these red flags that are saying, don't date me, don't marry me, don't have a kid with me, and then you go out there and date them and marry them and have a kid with them, and you knew all these things coming into it, all I can say is, well, what did you expect? You know, people show you who they are in the beginning. And it's up to you. Sometimes you could get tricked. You can definitely get tricked. But 9 times out of 10, people are going to show you who they are in the beginning. And we can't overlook these things because we want to look on the positive side, or, you know, I'm a glass half full person, and, you know, there's good in everybody. It's not it. It's not it. You know, I like to tell people there's 7 billion people on this planet and rising. You can't get caught up in one because, oh, there was some good in them. You got to be real with these expectations. And sometimes, you know, when you pray on it, it's like, you know, God, bring this kind of person into my life and do this. And, you know, or like, if this person isn't for me, then remove them from my life. And then God gives you all these signs like, yo, don't do that. That's not for you. That ain't the one. And then we ignore them. You know, there's no one we can blame but ourselves, because oftentimes everything we need to know is right in front of us. And we for whatever reason, we just want to be ignorant to it, and we just want to see the good in people. And we're like, no, we can do this, or it's just something about them, and I can't put my finger on it. No, you see the red flags, run. Now, if you're married, it's different. If you're already married and then you're just going through something rocky, y'all have to find a way to work that out. Couples counseling, go see your pastor, whatever that may be. But if you're just dating, just talking, or you're just getting to know somebody, or whatever you want to define your situation as, you have too much in front of you to sit here and play around with these red flags and entertain something because it's exciting or it's fun at the time or whatever that may be. So manage those expectations. Do not come into anything expecting to change somebody, and be real with what's in front of you, because you don't want to end up in a situation that ended up being not what you wanted it to be because you ignored the red flags, and now it's okay. Well, what did you expect? You know? So overall, know when it's time to pull back. When it comes to these expectations and these goals, have a game plan. Know how you're going to accomplish it, know how you're going to get to it, and understand that things take time. You know, don't like when let's say you have a fitness goal, let's bring it back to that, because that's the easiest thing to connect with. And you've been going hard for a month and a half, and you're like, dang, the scale didn't really move. Things take time. You know, everything happens in its time and in its season, and it takes a period of dedication, a period of consistency, a season of just really chipping away at it to start to see results. Don't come into something with this timeline expectation that, okay, you know, in the next 2 months, this better happen. When it happens, but it's going to happen because you put forth the best effort and you were consistent. And you were consistent and realistic, and you managed it, you maintained it, you put in the right effort, and you did what you had to do. So keep working at it, keep cracking at it, and keep being resilient. You know, you have to have this I'm not going to stop till I get what I'm here for kind of attitude. You can't give up, you can't relent, you can't walk away from it until the job is done and the war is won. So all in all, I say all this to say 2021, let's manage our expectations. Let's be real with ourselves about what we want, how we're going to get it, the methods we're going to use, the timeline we're going to have. And I don't want anyone to, you know, be at the end of the year looking at their situation like, well, dang, what did I expect? You know, I want everybody to win in this season. I want everybody to grow. I want everybody to elevate. And I see nothing but greatness ahead for my people, man. So please apply these things to your life. Please take whatever piece of this may work for you, may need, may be helpful to you, And let's keep chipping away at it, man. Let's meet all our goals. Let's meet all our expectations. And let's make this season our season. I'm proud of y'all. Keep rocking. Thank you for listening to me. And until next time, this is Daily Dimensions, man.